Hello everyone, this is the official unboxing video of Journey to the Overland. And this is the core game that we're going to be unboxing. So anybody that ordered the core game or pledged for the core game, as well as the stretch goal backers, will get this. And so we're just going to kind of start going into the contents and get an idea of what's going to be included in the core game. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the box itself. And the box was actually one of the first stretch goals that was unlocked. Initially, I kind of planned to release this as just a book, a role-playing game manual. I was going to insert the map as an insert, and then that was going to be the game. Was that in the cards, which I didn't know how I would do with the Kickstarter, but the initial goal, the cards would have been on a card sheet, and so you would have had to cut them out, but they would have been inserted into the manual as well. But because of the stretch goals that were unlocked, one of the things that got unlocked was the box. So let's kind of take a look at the box here. Again, the cover art is by Luis Romano, who I think did a great job. On the back, we have a logo, kind of a little synopsis of Journey to the Overland. And the box itself actually has the grid from the map. So if you look on the back of the box, right back here, you can see the grids and the hexes, which are from the actual map that's included in the game. And that's the side of the box there. So I was actually pretty pleased with how the box came out. Now, it's not a very thick box, so I'll tell you that now, but I kind of went for quality and appearance over sturdiness and construction, just because for most people this isn't going to be a game that you're going to actually play and box back up. You're pretty much going to have a manual and a map out, and you put it in the box when it's on the shelf. So it's sturdy enough to sit on your shelf. So let's look inside now, and let's get an idea of what you actually are going to be getting. Okay, since I'm filming this myself, I gotta play with the angle on the camera, but that's kind of the inside of the box, just to give you an idea of when you open it. And the first thing that's gonna come out or stand out is going to be the map. And I still think this is my favorite part of the game, and probably the thing that I'm most proud of. This is it's a decent sized map. I think the final dimensions was 3 foot by 3 foot, but and I'll try to open it up and show you a spread later. But this map alone, if you were to go through a company like Paizo and them that makes maps for games, would probably be $40 just because of the size. It wouldn't be any less than maybe $20. But let's get a closer look at a map. Okay, so I've got the map laid out as much as I can get in here on my camera. And like I said, it's a very beautiful map. Just looking at this camera, you can get the impression that the mountains actually have elevation. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Most players are actually going to start right there in Milestone. That's your hometown. Isn't that sweet? As you start to adventure and look for the weapons of power, hopefully you'll make your way to Firetop Mountain, Dwarf Town, Dwarf Haven, Elf Mountain, and somewhere around here is Mordecai's Fire Castle. So, yeah. The nice thing though I like about the game is eventually there will be supplements where we can look at some of these areas in more detail. I think one of the stretch goals that was unlocked was one of the towns, and I think it was Zafton. So there will be a larger map of the town of Zafton. Alright, let's see what else we got in the box. Okay, so I kind of brought the box over. Let's see what else is in here. If I can get it out. And that's kind of just a letter from me, from Overland Games, thanking all the backers that made the game possible. We'll move that. And of course, the rule book. And this actually surprised me because my binder from when I originally created this was basically about 500 type pages on a typewriter. And I was surprised when we finished the book and got everything consolidated and printed that it actually, fit into a very, I think it's a very compact book. There's a lot of information in here, but it's not too thick. Eventually, I'd like to do a Kickstarter and maybe see if we can fund a hard copy version with some more color. There is color in here, but a lot of the art I did for the pages for various reasons, there's some color. I did in black and white. And basically the rule book is going to be your guide to the game. So as you adventure and you go through towns and you meet characters, you're either going to refer to the rule book or the rule book is going to give you an idea of how you want to go or what you want to do. Like right here, I think the unknown islands, which if we look on the map, the unknown islands are right there. So if you're reading up on the unknown islands, you'll learn about them in the book, but then when it's time to go there, you can go there on the map. So and again, I'm actually proud of the rule book. I know there's probably going to be maybe some typos or some things that are going to need clarification, but hey. The other thing we got is the character. Okay, we're back. I had to delete some of the videos. The next thing we have is the character sheet. And this is something that I decided to hire somebody to kind of work on. It's not the one shown in the initial Kickstarter, but I had somebody kind of redesign it to consolidate it as much as possible while I was waiting on the cards and a lot of other stuff to come in. One thing, I'm going to do I hope to do a playthrough session, and I'll show you guys how to fill this in and work with this. But basically, just for this, I'm trying to include one complete sheet in everybody's box. So you'll get the first page. It should have 5 pages where you're going to have room to list your characters, equipment, and items, and possessions, and property, weapons, his followers. And then I think the last page is just the journal, which I hope people will use, because when I used to play this game, that was the funnest part, where you would record, we were attacked by wolves today, we met a party of dwarfs, had to work a job cleaning, to feed the party. So I hope you will use that and record your adventure journal there, and you can obviously make more copies of that page. And I'm also going to try to make that available on a PDF in the digital reward section of the backer kit. Okay, so that's packing material, which you may or may not have in your kit. I just kind of did that to fill it out. The next thing that you will get is going to be, and I know what I'm filling for, the dice. It's 2 D10s. That's all you need to play the game. These were also unlocked as part of the stretch goals. I mean, I assume everybody had dice, but there was people who said, well, if you make a game that needs dice, you should include dice. So I said, well, if I'm going to include dice, then we're going to use it as a stretch goal. But so there are dice, and they didn't really cost me that much. Now, the next thing we got are cards. So this is the deck of encounter cards, which is, I think you should have 108. And they're all different, except for there will be 2 cards called Northern Hunting Camp, but they'll have different pictures. And we'll get more into the cards and describing them as we do a playthrough. But You know, I kind of like the cards. I'm going to be probably redoing them in the next edition just to make the text a little bit more readable. There's some of the cards where, like this one I have no problem reading, but some of them where the text is as more text on there, a little hard to read with the cursive font that was used. So I may be doing that. Now you will get one pack like this of cards, and this actually contains 3 decks of cards, and I'm going to open this one up and just show you, because you're going to need to sort these, and there's not that many, so that's why they're included like that. Okay, so I sorted these, and that took me about as long as it actually took even editing this. But the 3 decks that are going to be in there is going to be the weather cards, and you'll be able to tell these apart by the label there. The event cards. And another thing you will notice, the event cards have a red banner, although there's a couple of cards in here that the banner's not on, just because I needed space for the art. But it will still say event at the bottom, so when you're sorting them. And there was one card, for whatever reason, one of the event cards, the event label at the bottom didn't come through, but it still has the red banner. I think it's the Fox Hunt. Yeah. So it has the red banner, so you know that goes into your event card deck. And that's something I'll take a look at. I think it might have been one of the layers in Photoshop wasn't active on that card. The final deck is your quest cards. Again, you know, I like the cards. I may redo the fonts on some of these as well. Just, you know, these when the game was created, I really wasn't thinking about, oh, how much should I put on this card? I would write out the card so that they were complete descriptions of what was taking place. It wasn't until, you know, you try to manufacture and you're like, holy cow, that's a lot of information on the card. But right here basically is everything you get in the game. So you'll have the box, the map, the book, the character sheet, and the cards and the dice. And that is really all you will need to get started playing. I mean, from that point on, other than a miniature of your choice, you can get started playing. And those of you who back to stretch goals, you know, that's my next thing to start getting out will be the miniatures that are ready. So I hope this helps, and I hope a lot of you will start getting your core game soon and start enjoying yourself. And so the next video I hope to be able to do will be a kind of a getting started playthrough video. Thanks.